Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching NDTV. For the first time, Sonia and Rahul Gandhi have been named in an ED charge sheet in the National Herald case. As Robert Vadra faces questioning in a separate land deal probe from 2008, the court is now all set to review the National Herald case on the 25th of April. Now, this clearly is an inflection point with legal and political stakes. We are talking about the first family of India's main opposition party, a party whose members have ruled the country for over 60 years post-independence, a party that is at crossroads now, fighting for revival. What does this mean for the Congress party's future? With the Congress fighting for its comeback, its top leadership now faces a courtroom test. Is this beginning of a new chapter, or is this the end of an era? Will the allegations of corruption outshine the potential sympathy for Gandhis, and what kind of political and electoral ramifications will this episode have on voters and workers of the party? That is what we discussed tonight. We will be joined by a panel of guests, but first let's listen in to some political reactions.
The National Herald case charge sheet is a clear case of political vendetta. The organization called National Herald is the pride part of Congress party. Our leader of opposition, Rahul Gandhi ji, is fighting against this government and Modi, Amit Shah's misrule. Because of that, they had tried to silence him, and they disqualified him in a false case and vacated his house also. Now, again, they are trying to do this thing through this case, and we will fight it. And Rahul Gandhi ji is the leader who is fighting for the oppressed OBCs, scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and the minorities of this country. To silence him, to silence after the Ahmedabad Congress, Nyaypath, they wanted to stop Rahul Gandhi ji's fight for the OBCs, SCs, STs, women and scheduled caste and minorities. Rahul Gandhi ji is our leader who will fight against this injustice to them. And we will fight. All the Congress workers will stand with Rahul Gandhi ji in this fight against Modi and Amit Shah and RSS.
कांग्रेस पार्टी को नस्तानाबूद करने की मोदी जी की साजिश है। ईडी तो इडियट है, जो मर्जी उसको कराया जा सकते हैं। उसमें हमें कोई परवाह नहीं, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता। मोदी जी को और बीजेपी पार्टी को हम डरते नहीं, ईडी सीबीआई से हम डरने वाला नहीं हो।
The case that they're asking me about is a 20-year-old case. This is definitely politically motivated, and they can ask me as many questions. All the answers are given, all documents are given, and this is it. I think the ruling government always misuses the agency, and I'm having to face the same.
Well, my colleagues Sunil Prabhu and Aishwarya Jain join us now. Aishwarya, to you first. You've had a busy day today. So did ED. First, the grilling of Robert Vadra, and then the charge sheet against Gandhis. Tell us first as to how did Robert Vadra deal with the grilling today? What more do we know about the interrogation that happened today?
Well, it was at 11 a.m. when Robert Vadra marched from his residence and reached with his supporters to the ED headquarters. Of course, the supporters weren't allowed at the ED headquarters, but Robert Vadra made that statement that it's a political witch hunt, a political vendetta against the opposition leaders. Whenever any opposition leader try to speak about minorities, about the wrongdoings of the government, then it is this government which misuses the agencies, and this is what is happening with him. He stated that there were several rounds of questioning that has already taken place in different cases, and yet again he is there to appear before the Enforcement Directorate. But remember, the claims that were made by Robert Vadra was pertaining to the earlier cases regarding the Bikaner land deal, the London case, but this was a case where it was first the Enforcement Directorate summoned him on April 8th, which he skipped, and now a fresh summon was served. Today he appeared before the Enforcement Directorate, and almost 6 hours of questioning took place. A 1 hour break was given to him for lunch, after which he appeared again in front of the Enforcement Directorate after being grilled for almost 6 hours. He made again a statement that every question that the agencies asked him was already answered, and he's ready to face any such questions in the near future as well. We've been told by our sources within the Enforcement Directorate that tomorrow again he has been summoned to the Enforcement Directorate. He had to appear before the agency tomorrow as well. But it is, of course, the entire land deal which is in contention over here, which had the allegations against Robert Vadra's company Skylight Hospitality, which had purchased a land of 3.5 crores acres in Gurgaon worth rupees 7.5 crore,
Right.
which ultimately, after taking commercial license, being sold to DLF to 58 crore rupees. And according to ED, it is a fit case of money laundering which they are probing into. And Congress that time was in power in Haryana, that also had an involvement, and therefore Bhupen Singh Hooda was also questioned in the same case. But it is, of course, a trouble for Robert Vadra, which is mounting, because it's just not this case, but also another charge sheet that has been filed by the Enforcement Directorate in the National Herald case against Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi.
Right. Thank you, Aishwarya. Now to you, Sunil. Sunil, help us understand the context to this case, because we've been talking about National Herald for several years now. How is the party preparing for something like this? It has just had a very important session in Ahmedabad that you covered. How is the party prepared for what can be expected next? Because this is also the first time that a charge sheet has been filed naming Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi as accused in the National Herald case.
So very interesting that you ask the genesis of this. The genesis comes from a private complaint of Subramaniam Swamy. It goes back to 2004, 2005. In 2005, the court took cognizance of it and asked for the presentation of Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, amongst others, Motilal Vora, Oscar Fernandez, who are no more, Suman Dubey, and Sam Petroda, who are all part of this case. Now, the ED has filed this charge sheet on the 9th. And has asked the information officer and the ED counsel to be present on and to have a look at the case diary on the 25th of October, 25th of April, and then they will take further, decision. Now, what is the Congress saying? As you heard, some of the reactions from his lawyers, the Gandhis' lawyers, Mr. Abhishek Singhvi, who I spoke to, saying that one, of course, apart from the political vendetta and the continuous attack, the most important point is, has there been money laundering? Has there been any transfer of property? Has there been any money transaction? And it's on that basis that they have still contesting the claims that have been made by Subramanian Swamy and others on this entire issue. So it's going to be a long drawn-out process, no doubt, but there is no arrest that is likely. The interrogation has taken place of both Sonia Gandhi as well as Rahul Gandhi, amongst others. And the seizing of property has also taken place. And it's in that context now that the natural corollary of filing a charge sheet, which is, of course, as you can see, it has taken nearly 20 long years to complete. We'll have to wait and see how long this entire process carries forward, whether there is a case, and if so, will it happen in our lifetimes or not?
Right. Thank you, Sunil Prabhu, for joining us with those details. Also, let's listen in to what Congress MP Abhishek Manu Singhvi said today on this case.
The National Herald case is a one-trick wonder where this government has started a money laundering investigation without there being any movement of money, any movement of property. Now there is nothing more except a charge sheet filed in a fake case. This will be contested fully in all aspects, and earlier all statements have been recorded in this regard by the persons, including the former Congress President Sonia Gandhi ji. I think the government by such matters is only exposing itself and its campaign of political vendetta.
We have Tehseen Poonawalla, political analyst. He supports the Congress party. We have Rohan Gupta, national spokesperson of the BJP. We have Jayanto Ghoshal, who's a political analyst and a senior journalist. Thank you all of you for joining me on this broadcast. To you, Tehseen, first, the National Herald case is an old case. ED began its investigation in 2021. on the basis of a June 2014 order from Delhi Patiala House Court based on a private complaint, like Sunil was also explaining, by BJP's Subramaniam Swamy, but a charge sheet being filed against the Gandhis. Did you expect this? How has the party prepared for something like this? Because you can't blame the BJP for this. This is for the courts to decide now.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me in the show. There are three issues out here. This is the most stunning case one has ever heard. This is a money laundering charge sheet filed where no money has ever been laundered. The AGL, nobody's ever from AGL complained about cheating. No property is ever moved. The property stays there. No property is ever sold. You know, there's a saying, you're either pregnant or not pregnant. You can't be half pregnant. No property is gone. No money laundering has happened. Money has been there. A legitimate loan which has been converted to equity, which is in a not-for-profit Section 25 now, Section 8 company, has been called as a profit-making company, and alleged money laundering and property has been taken home by a private individual where no other agencies registered a predicate offense. The Delhi High Court has very clearly said, well, there may be allegedly some criminality to look into, but no offense is made out. Spelling it out, long interrogation of the Gandhis is over, and now they filed a charge sheet. This charge sheet will be contested and will be thrown out. The impact of this, or the total actual legal jurisprudence of this, is as much as the most honorable Prime Minister's press conference is zero.
Rohan Gupta, you know, today even Mr. Vadra said that ED is just a front for the BJP, and we have seen even the case against, defamation case against Rahul Gandhi also having political implications. He was disqualified as an MP, but the courts sort of ruled the other way. Charge or the allegations that the BJP uses ED or CBI for its own political benefits, do you think that is something that will stick to you more once Gandhis come out and they are grilled by investigating agencies? Will that have political repercussions on your party?
See, definitely, at the end of the day, the law prevails. And you have given right example that in one case, court has ruled against the plea of BJP leaders. So that's what our court is. You should have trust on our legal system. Why are we saying that it's a vendetta politics? Whenever the ED does any kind of action, he gives the rule. For example, in current rule, it is Section 8, Rule number 5/1 under PML Act. So if anybody against whom the wrong cases are filed or charged, they can definitely go to the court. Why have to make emotional issue out of it? If there is no substance, obviously the black will come out or white will come out. At the end of the day, if something is wrong done by BJP and courts prove it, obviously people are there to judge. And then it will be proved that something wrong has happened. But till that time, when investigations are going on, when there are evidences to prove whatever is been there in charge sheet, I think all of us as a law-abiding citizens, we should support the process. And the process has been transparent, the documents are public. And at the end of the day, after that, if the people against whom the cases are filed, they feel that something is vendetta, obviously they will have strong point. But why now? Why now? Why now to play this card?
So the process is important. The process is important, and it's important to trust the justice system, is what Rohan is saying. Jayanta Ghoshal, you've been tracking these developments in Delhi for a long time, sir. This is the first time a charge sheet has been filed against Sonia and Rahul Gandhi in this case, as the party, the Congress party, battles for relevance, revival. It has just had this important meeting in Ahmedabad. Its top leadership is looking at what can be seen as a legal storm that could possibly, impact the Congress party in many ways. In a basic sense, if Rahul Gandhi has to focus on investigation, he cannot be holding Bharat Jodo Yatra or even, heading the India alliance, because all of that needs time. So when Rohan Gupta talks about process, there's also there's also a cost that the Congress party will have to pay for that. So what kind of dent do you expect all of this having on the momentum that the Congress party has picked or not picked in the last few months?
Basudha, there are two aspects. The one aspect is legal aspect. The other aspect, that what political dividend, what will be the political consequences. But at the outset, because I'm onlooker of this case for a pretty long time, number one, where is BJP? Subramaniam Swamy, he filed the case before Narendra Modi became the Prime Minister of this country, before 2014, long back. And Subramaniam Swamy, he's I call one-man army. He is not BJP. In fact, he is criticizing Narendra Modi on several issues nowadays in X-handle. So if I jump to this conclusion that it's a BJP's case, how I can substantiate. Number two, it's a enforcement and the CBI, what they are doing. Once upon a time, we used to call CBI the Congress Bureau of Investigation, and now we are making a lot of complaints that BJP is also going in that way and using enforcement and this thing. But the figure, what Subramaniam said, Swami said in the court, and the charge sheet is on the basis of that 2,000 crore and 90 crore loan and AGL to young Indian, this transfer, how you can justify? Because the Lucknow house, Delhi house, all these houses are there. It's not, it's a mysteriously, it is missing, it's not like that. But it's a siphoning of the money, and it's a public property to private property. That is the allegation. And court will take the final decision, not BJP party. So when it is, charge sheet frames in West Bengal cases against Abhishek Banerjee is saying that he is facing the cases, he is joining the hearing, and the political battle, if there is any political battle, Rahul, if goes to the Bharat Joro Yatra, he can make a major issue against this enforcement and CBI. That's a different thing. Whether it will be politically benefited or not, because, in Jharkhand, BJP did, what happened to the Soren family and what Hemant Soren, and in Kejriwal case, it was not complimentary for AAP party. So there are two different cases of different consequences. So I want to delink this issue with the BJP and the Congress issue. But this is a very old case. And before Narendra Modi becomes Prime Minister, and isme doodh ka doodh, pani ki pani ho jana, it's a good for the Aam Janta. We have every respect to Sonia Gandhi and Gandhi family. It's nothing personal. But this issue, this National Herald property, a lot of Congress working committee members raised this issue historically on this property issue, and it's a transfer of the property to the Gandhi family. So this issue, for the nation's interest, I think, if court can make a conclusion, so I think the case will be over.
Okay, let's go to Tehseen. Tehseen, you wanted to make a point here.
I think I understood what Mr. Ghosh is trying to say, but I don't think he's articulated it so the viewers may misunderstand. So I'm just trying to paraphrase. Mr. Ghosh, what Mr. Ghosh is trying to say is there's an original complainant, Subramaniam Swamy. He has no locus standing in AGI. Please, no locus standi in AGL. This BJP person comes in and says, look, there's a case of cheating. For a case of cheating, somebody has to be cheated. That's the basic law. Who's cheated? Not the AGL shareholders, not the Congress party that gave the loan of 90 crore rupees. Second thing, Young India, a Section 8 companies formed, Section 25, Section 8 companies now formed. Have the assets of AGL, as Mr. Ghosh rightly put, been transferred to Young India? No, they have not been transferred. They are exactly where it is. So where is this notional loss of 2,000 crore rupees? Like I said earlier, you're either pregnant or not pregnant. You can't be half pregnant. Either 2,000 crore ki property is gone. The Lucknow house is gone. It's been sold away. The Gandhis have pocketed the money or they haven't. Has even 1 paisa of dividend gone to the Gandhis? No. Not 1 paisa because it's a not-for-profit company. The government itself is not arguing on it. So who? On a third person, coming and complaining on a private transaction on a loan that was made to equity, where the objective is to revive a paper associated with the political party, where none of the assets of the paper, most of it government assets on lease, cannot anyways be transferred. Where is the case? That is precisely where, and therefore I agree with Mr. Ghosh. It's great that this charge sheet has come because, like other cases, this case is going to be thrown out by the courts. It's such a bad cause. That's why the Gandhis have always got relief. That's why they've been nothing against
what I
the Gandhis.
understand is, the technicalities of this case, because this case has been going on forever, a lot of us actually, get confused. But I at least know this one thing, that while on paper it might be what you're saying, but clearly there have been loopholes which have not been managed. Do you think, Rohan Gupta, you've also been with the Congress earlier. Tell me something. Do you think that the Congress party could have managed something like this better? Because this is about a newspaper that Jawaharlal Nehru started. It's not some private land scam. It also in some ways very symbolically represents the ecosystem of the Congress party. Do you think this is one case that the party should have been extremely careful about?
Yeah, absolutely. As a political party, you should be very, very clean as far as your documentation or property things are concerned. But you cannot be in power perpetually. And obviously anybody, whether I am saying it is vendetta or not, it is your responsibility to come out clean in the minds of people. You are in the public face. If this case is there where ED has filed the charge sheet, tomorrow something is wrong, even ED is unstable to the people. There is absolutely, people feel that there is misuse of power, they are not going to leave anybody. But I feel there are abnormalities in the case, and the charge sheet has been filed. Now opposition party has clear-cut right to represent their case, why this is not money laundering, where the no money is moved. Obviously, this is a transfer of assets, huge assets from public to private. There is a process which is not followed. So what are the loopholes? What are the issues in charge sheet? Let them go to court and the court decide. But at the end of the day, when you are in public landscape, you should be very, very clear as far as documentation is concerned or accounting is concerned. Obviously, and you cannot just say vendetta politics. If something is wrong, obviously law will take its own course. And all of us, whether it is opposition
Jayanta
party
Ghoshal,
or
tell me the
party,
political ramifications of
so we
this.
should have that trust.
Just 1 second, one line. Just one line. Then,
yes.
Just one line. Rohan's a great debater and I love debating with him. But I would honestly on this show like to be exposed. Tell me half an hour. Show me one pen of AGL, that has been transferred to Y. One pen. It cannot be transferred. The basic formation of, Rohan, by just 10 seconds. The basic formation of Y says that Y will only act to support AGL. All assets and rental income remain with AGL. That is the basic objective of Y. When that is a Section 8 company, that's the objective. How can something be transferred? That Herald house you're showing is exactly there.
Okay,
it's not
Rohan,
gone to
quickly
the Gandhis.
before I go to Jayanta Ghoshal for the last word. Rohan, quickly.
See, my point is very clear. You are doing technical things. Again, I'm answering technically. When the huge property is transferred at where the proceeding against which are not proportional to the cost or the value of the property, obviously there is a case of money laundering. You just read, again I'm saying, PMLA Act, Section 8, Rule number 5/1. Tessin, just go and read it. So that's what I'm saying.
I have to take the last word from Mr. Ghoshal. Jayanta Ghoshal, how do you see this politically impacting the image of the Gandhis? Because there are two sides to this. There could be sympathy for them, and there could also be questions asked of them. And also, at a time when there are knives out in the India alliance, for the Gandhis for allegedly not having been able to manage the alliance, how do you see this impacting the image of the Gandhis?
Yeah, there are only 2 points I want to mention. That number one, this is the observation of the judiciary. Again and again I say that it's not JP Nadda's judgment. It is judiciary. So if this charge sheet, if you want to challenge it, you have to act in legal way. You have to combat this judiciary, the system. One order, if you say the court is good. One order, if court is bad. So on this issue, what court is doing, it's not BJP party. Court has done it. And now if Congress has to challenge it, and this what you are asking, Basudha, this Indian alliance is a non-existent, it has become. Laluji, he is in AIIMS hospital and he is in a bad shape. Election is coming. Nobody has met Laluji at the AIIMS hospital. And I was talking to some RJD people, wo log dukhi hain. So this is, I don't understand. When in West Bengal, some cases against TMC, Congress don't react. They don't think that is just.
Right.
When it is against Abhishek Banerjee, Mamata Banerjee, it's just. When it is against National Herald, Rahul Gandhi, so you have to fight. So if you want to take this way, in a Akla Chalo way, in this way, and no alliance, then that's a politically also you cannot combat this misuse of these agencies.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining me on this broadcast. Completely out of time. National Herald, newspaper started by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru in 1937 to give voice to the freedom movement in the country's back in the spotlight. ED has filed a charge sheet in the National Herald case, naming Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi as primary accused, with Robert Vadra also facing scrutiny in a separate land deal case. Legal news around the Gandhi seems to be tightening, but the court will take cognizance of the National Herald matter on the 25th of April, a date that could have serious legal and political consequences on the politics of this country.